Yeah, Quinn. Yeah. I know she goes by a lot of different things. But all right, so really quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think most of us kind of, know the basics of business writing. But just really wanted to let me get to it. There you go. You guys can see the PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Just really wanted to talk really briefly about this idea of business writing. Even, when you have your real interview, you will need to send a thank you note to the person that is interviewing you. I've seen so many students that have told me that them sending a thank you note letter alone has gotten them the job. And it's not just because they're saying it, it's because they were told, hey, no one's ever done that before. Oh, thank you so much for sending that to me. And they were always like surprised by how something so small, such a small gesture, can mean a lot. But it really does. And we're going to talk about why. Um, when it comes to business writing, you know, the same way that you've learned in school, the font size, it used to be Times New Roman when I was coming up, but nowadays you can use a Libri, you can use Arial, you can even use, Calibri and Allegri. You can use any of those. It used to be 12 font, now 11 font is the standard. They set those standards because they don't want you to write too small and they don't want you to write too big, right? Also, we all know that your paragraphs need to be double spaced if possible and indented with 1 inch margins. None of that has really changed from high school. When you do write a business letter, if you've ever gotten a business letter, you know that whoever is writing the letter should have some type of heading at the top. And that includes you. If you're going to send out a letter to someone, most times we're doing emails, but if you ever do send out a letter in your business or whatever, make sure you always have that heading. People need to know who's reaching out to them, right? They can't just tell from the envelope. Not everybody's envelope has all their identifying information. So it's important that you do have a heading. Obviously, you want to have a date. People need to know what date the letter was written so they'll know, the time frame in which they are receiving it. Then you'll want to follow up with their address because, you want to make sure that they're the right recipient. Sometimes it does happen. People do open other people's mail because they assumed it was for them. Sometimes it ends up in your box. I know it's happened to me with my neighbor's mail. And I'm like, oh my God, I've already opened it up. That felt really bad. Most importantly, the greeting, one of the reasons why you want to have a greeting outside of just the proper etiquette of doing that is to let the person know, the reader know, this letter is intended for this person. Even if it's in business, a lot of times when you're at your job and something may be meant for the auditor or the finance person or the legal person, God forbid, and then you open it up because there's two Sarahs at the job, they put it in your inbox, they put it in your mailbox, and it was supposed to go to the lawyer, Sarah, and but you're saying Sarah Smith and she's Sarah Thomas. That greeting lets the person know who the letter is intended for obvious reasons, and sometimes it is for privacy reasons as well. The the bulk of a letter, and I'm going to say this about a letter, but I'm going to tell you this is writing 101. Anytime you write anything, including a letter, guys, it should always have an introduction, a body, and a closing paragraph. Always, always, always. The complimentary close, sincerely yours, thank you, warm regards is what that means. But when it comes to the parts of the letter, so at the top, your address, whatever it is, the date that it was written, right into who you have intended that letter for. You are going to greet that person, dear Mr. or Mrs. whatever. Now, let's get to the body of this paragraph. Every single form of communication needs to have three components: an introduction or a first paragraph, the body of the paragraph of the letter, which is 1 or 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, however many, where you're discussing what you said you were going to talk about from the first paragraph. And then your last paragraph. Sometimes we call that last paragraph the call to action because you're telling the person what you want them to do next. If You're simply saying, I'm sending this letter to you just, for your information. Then that last paragraph would be, thanks again for your discussion. Here's the information that was enclosed or whatever it is. But it lets the reader know there's nothing else for me to do. 9 times out of 10, however, if you are sending a thank you letter to a company, you will have a call to action. And that call to action will simply state, I look forward to hearing from you. As we discussed in our meeting, I will follow up with you within 2 weeks or whatever it is. If you have not, agreed to have anything to that person, the call to action is always going to be, I look forward to hearing from you. That lets that person know that you expect to hear from them, right? So when it comes to looking for work, the call to action will always be basically, Mr. Interview person, the ball is in your court. I'm expecting you to give me a call back. So let's look at some of this in action. You will be writing a thank you letter to Quinlan, right? And you want her to know. Now, you're going to do it in an email, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. But if it were a letter, at the top, it would be your name and information. You're going to put today's date or whenever you write it. Then it would be her information, right? If you were sending her the letter, it would be Quinlan, her address of the campus, dear Ms. Tiller, or whatever, right? What you always want to do is introduce the topic. Well, if it's a thank you letter, you want to state exactly that. I'm writing to thank you for the opportunity to interview with you on October, whatever, or whatever it is you want to say. But the point is, state the purpose of the communication. Thank you for an opportunity to interview, like on the screen. I'm writing to thank you for the opportunity to interview. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to interview. That very first sentence lets the reader know what the communication is about, right? So you can say something, flattering, like this letter suggests the interview process provided me with a clear synopsis of the role. You can say that too. Thank you, Ms. Quinlan, for the opportunity to meet with you on October X, Y, and Z. I really gained a lot of insightful, whatever about, the electrical interview process, right? And then what you want to say is, whenever you're sending a thank you letter, and this is for Ms. Quinlan or anybody, you always want to have something in that communication that referred back to what you discussed during that meeting. My friends, very, very important. That lets the person know that you were paying attention. That's why we do it. That lets them know that, oh, maybe she said something to you like, oh, and here's what the electrical companies are looking for. Can you guys think of what did Ms. Quinlan say? Because I don't know how did she meet with each of you individually? How did she do that?
Because we weren't too much people, they split him in half. It was Cassandra and Quillen. Um, some of us did it with Cassandra, and the other half did it with Quillen.
Okay. And Jelena, is it Jelena or Jelena? I don't know.
Jelena,
Jelena. Um, can are you guys together?
no.
Oh, I just didn't know if she could come off
Um,
speaker. Okay, Jelena.
no, I can
So
talk, but
did
I'm
both
just
of you guys meet with Quinlan or
no, I met with Cassandra.
Cassandra? Can you
Yeah.
remember one thing Miss Cassandra said to you
Um,
that was
um,
positive?
I mean, she said I did good, but I was struggling with the tell me about yourself, but the rest she said I was doing good on.
Did she give you any part of advice?
Yes, she told me things like on what to say, like more like I don't know, like where I'm from, and she told me that I have an advantage though, cause I'm a girl. I mean, that's one thing she told me to.
Okay, okay. And what about you, Isaac? What do you remember? What was a takeaway from your meeting?
Well, she told me that the first time we had to repeat because I started good, but ended up a little. different because I didn't specify what I was doing now and what I'm capable to do now in the electricity field.
Mm.
So after that, we started over again. I repeated again, and then after that, she said it sounded great. That I sounded I sounded very passionate about what I want to do, and like it sounded that I really wanted the job.
Okay. So, whatever you remembered, the same way you just told me what you remembered, in that middle paragraph, that is what you're going to say. Oh, Miss Cassandra or Miss Quillen, I really wanted to thank you for giving me advice on ABC. That is going to be, they're going to clutch their pearls. Oh my God, they were paying attention to me. Do you know how good that makes someone feel when you actually regurgitate to them something that they told you? In real life, you're going to do that. That's one of the reasons why I tell you guys take a pad and a pencil when you go to the interview process, because whatever they say, just write down one or two things because you're going to put it in your thank you letter. They don't know that. Right. So you can say, oh, Miss Quinlan, oh, Miss Cassandra, thank you so much for the opportunity to interview with you. You know, your insight was invaluable. That second paragraph, I really learned a lot from you, or I really found it, helpful when you, and then say exactly what you said, right? And then in that last paragraph, I don't know if they gave you guys a follow up. I don't know if they said, "Hey, call me again." Did they either of them give you a follow up in terms of how to engage with them?
No, we did talk about an interview I had that same day in the morning.
Oh
We ended
wow.
up, yeah, we ended up talking about it, and she gave me a few tips, and she's also gonna do like a follow up with them, to kind of
Oh,
help me. Yes,
so was it a company that she referred?
she didn't refer it, but they used to work with them in the past. Like she
Oh,
used to work
okay.
with the recruiter before, so she
So she's
knows who
going
they
to try
are.
to get the inside
Yes,
scoop for you.
hopefully.
Right. So that is what you can say. Now, see, that's good, right? Now you can really, that's a good one. I would bring that up. I would say to her, you know, maybe in your closing paragraph, once again, thank you so much. And I really appreciate, I can't wait to hear back of what the guy has to say, just to remind her that she's supposed to do that because sometimes people get busy. So your call to action would be just, letting her know that you eagerly await what to hear what she has to say from that call. You see? That kind of lets her know, okay, the ball is in your court and this is what I'm expecting next from you. And then Cassandra, did she give you any next steps or anything like that?
No, no, she didn't give me any steps.
No, for Jelena, I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought she
Oh,
said she
sorry.
met with Cassandra. I
Um,
can't remember.
no, yeah, no, yeah. She just no, she just told me to like work on like being more confident, I guess, because
Okay.
I went in there and I just like I was so nervous. I was trying to act so calm, like just sitting back on the chair,
Oh,
and she was like I would suggest that you sit like on the edge and hands up, hands on the table and stuff. But that's really it.
yeah.
But she
The
did
reason
help
why
me
she's
like
telling you, oh, okay, to sit close is because it's a body language type of thing, right? So it's
yeah,
almost like, how if you're like really interested in somebody and you're interested in what they have to say, you know how we lean in sometimes, we do it when we're,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, in personal lives. But those are good vibes when you do it in interviews too, right? It's like letting the
yeah,
person know, I'm really interested in what you have to say. And you
yeah,
know what I do a lot of times when I get nervous? I nod my head a lot. Like when the person's talking, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that makes so much sense." And I do a
yeah.
lot of smiling.
She said that too. That I mean, I was doing good at least giving a response because she said some people were just sitting there like with nothing. So I
Oh
was
my
nodding my
God.
head a lot. I'm like,
No, because then it's gonna make that other person make the person that's interviewing you like feel uncomfortable. Go ahead,
yeah,
Isaac.
So, so just so I get this clear before we continue, this letter that I'm writing is gonna go to Cassandra in this case because she's the one that interviewed me, and I'm supposed to send this letter to her as well, like email it to her.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you in a minute. So I'm
Oh,
showing
okay.
you like what it looks like in letter form. But if what you're gonna do for Cassandra, and you guys both met with Cassandra?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are going to send an email. So here's what the email is going to look like. You're going to, obviously, it's going to be her email address, and the subject line is going to be, your last name, interview, thank you. Now, if she would have asked you for something, then you would have attached it, whatever she asked you for. But she didn't ask you guys for anything. So you're just going to go with dear, however she tells you to address her. You're going to thank her for the opportunity to interview, right? You can say, thank you for the opportunity to interview on this such and such a date. Thank you for the opportunity to perform a mock interview on such and such a date, whatever you want to say in that first sentence. That second sentence is going to be something flattering. Oh, I learned so much from this interview, or I found this very profound. I really appreciate, you taking the time. Something flattering in that second sentence. Got it?
Got
So
it.
the first
But
sentence, thank you for opportunity to interview. Second sentence, say something flattering. The middle paragraph is where you are going to say something about what happened, right? So talk about exactly what you did. For Jelena, it's going to be, I really appreciate you giving me feedback on whatever she gave you feedback on. For you, it's going to be whatever you guys discuss. Oh, I really, appreciate you giving me feedback on this. Thank you for bringing this up. I learned a lot from this. Whatever you took away from that. And then that closing paragraph, you're just going to thank her again. Thank you again for your time. And that second thing is either going to be whatever you followed up with. Now, for Isaac is going to be mentioning the fact that she's supposed to tell you was, feedback from that phone call. So that's called a call to action. For Jelena, it could just be, I look forward to working with career services. That's letting her know, hey, this is a relationship. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to be asking you for your help. This is not some one-time thing. You see how that works? So that way, when Jelena knocks on her door, be like, hey girl, hey, I'm just checking in with you to see if y'all got anything. I'm graduating soon, whatever the case is, but it's letting her know, hey, this is about to be a relationship because I will be following back up with you. Make sense? So that's how
so,
that email process should work.
so we're treating this email to her, not because she's doing a mock. Like we're gonna treat her as a thank you because of the mock interview. Not we're not doing like a, how do I say this? We're not doing a mocking letter like if she's trying to hire me for a job.
Oh,
Correct?
no, no, no. You're not doing a fake it. You're not doing a fake one. You're doing a real one because she did interview you, right? So you're thanking
Okay.
her for the mock interview. This is
Okay.
practice, right? The same way that the mock interview was practice for the real thing, you're still thanking her for the mock interview, the same way you would have thanked a real interviewer for their interview in real life.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and then that way in real life, when you interview, like you should, Isaac, make sure you thank those people. You met with them yesterday or whenever, Tuesday. Now, normally you're supposed to send that thank you within 24 hours. If you have not thanked those people, please send them an email right away and thank them for interviewing you.
Yeah, that's where I messed up. I didn't get a business card. So I commented that to Cassandra, and she was supposed to help me get an email from them
Oh,
yesterday. So I don't know. Like I'm
yeah.
gonna put it at the end of the letter, like you said. I'm looking forward to get
Oh,
this information
there
from
you
you
go.
for.
Remind her,
Yes.
say, please get me that email so I can send a thank you. Like you want to make sure you do that. Don't let it go too late. Don't let it go past this week because then it seems weird if somebody's thanking you 5 days later, right?
Right. Right.
So, but I'm telling you, I've been teaching this class for years, and so many times students have told me sometimes just thanking them for their time goes a long, long way, right? So make sure you do that. Now, once you send Cassandra this email, you are going to go back to your sent, on your email, you're going to click on sent, and then you're going to take a screenshot of the email that you sent Cassandra, and you're going to copy and paste it into your assignment for today. If you do it tomorrow, copy it, whenever you do it, just do it by Sunday, you know. You guys got it? So I
Got
want to
it.
see the sent email, not just the writing. Okay. All right. Now, obviously, outside of thank you letters, there's other letters you send people. You send accepting letters, declining a position. You're going to be writing your suppliers. You're going to be writing customers. Like you're going to be writing letters, my friends, especially if you get to supervisor, manager, running your own business. And believe it or not everybody knows how to write letters. But like I said to you before, if you can write a letter, you can write anything. I don't care if you're writing a doctoral dissertation or a manuscript. All writing follows the same pattern: introduction, body, closing. If I'm telling you how to make ice cream, I'm going to start with an introductory paragraph. Today, I will be giving you the ingredients and telling you how to make ice cream. Making ice cream can be fairly simple if you know the process. That's my introduction. My body could be, if I want to break my body up into two steps. First, I'm going to tell you the ingredients, then I'm going to tell you how to do it. So my next paragraph will start with the ingredients. Even that paragraph needs to have an introduction. Let's start with the ingredients. Then I tell you all the ingredients. Now I'm going to close out that middle paragraph. These are the ingredients that goes into the ice cream. Then I go to the next paragraph. Now let's discuss how to make ice cream. You see how I just introduced the paragraph? I tell you how to make it, and then I close it out. If done properly, it's very easy to make. Now, the closing paragraph. By following these simple steps and these different ingredients, your ice cream will be great. I just wrote a mini essay on how to make ice cream. Did y'all see what I just did? Is that not simple? I have been writing since first grade and I'm 52. I'm a writer by trade. I hate writing. Don't tell anybody. But thanks to Chat
That's
GPT, it's made my
hilarious.
life a lot easier. You think I would have figured it out before I was 52, Isaac, but nevertheless, thanks to technology, it's gotten a lot easier. I'm like, if I say the same thing one more time, I'm gonna kill myself. But that's all writing is. I promise you, that's all it is. And I've been doing it forever, and people pay me to do things I hate. That's all writing is. Introduce it, talk about it, close it out. Writing 101. You can all be scholars, right? Very simple. So that is what you are going to do. So here is your, I'm sorry, here's what that looks like. An offer letter. If someone reaches out to you, now here, I pray that this is you. I hope when you go out and you're interviewing, you get more than one job offer. One of them you're going to have to accept, and the other one you're going to have to do what? Decline. Oh my God, isn't that awful? You actually have to turn people down. So when you do accept it, it's going to be the same type of concept, right? It's going to be introduction, body, closing. I'm so delighted to hear from you. Whatever they're asking you to do, background check, whatever they're talking about, and then close it out. Thank you again for the opportunity. Salutations, sincerely, warm regards. That's it. You still, so even when you are writing an email, I don't care if you're just telling somebody something real quick, introduce it, say it real quick, close it out. Even in each one is just one sentence, even though we know paragraphs should not be one sentence. But when you're just doing informal communication, it can be one sentence. Break it up. Hi, Isaac. I'm just following up with you about yesterday's meeting. That's the introduction, right? Go to the next sentence, just put a space in between. Like we discussed in that meeting, we really want to make sure that we all meet up at the rally point at 5:30. Close it out. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Don't just have it all jumbled up in one paragraph. Don't you hate when people do that? It's hard to follow. Have you guys ever noticed that? When someone writes this one long, long, long paragraph when they're emailing you, you're like, what the heck? It's confusing because they don't know writing 101. Writing 101 says introduce, state, close. That's it. You're all scholars now. I can feel it in my bones. You're scholars now. Trust me, it's simple. That's how you do it. All right. Now, so if you are fortunate enough to have to decline an offer, first of all, we're jealous. But second of all, make sure that you send them a declination letter, right? Make sure, because guess what, guys? You guys are in the industry now. Your no today will be a please tomorrow. Just because you're starting with one job, that doesn't mean you're going to end with that job. You may stay at this job for 2 years that you've accepted, maybe even 5 years. But then that other job that you didn't think was the best fit for you at the time, they have a new opportunity that can give you more money. And the job that you're at today doesn't. Now you have to go back and apply for that job. If you send them a very nice, very gracious, oh my God, it's just not the right time. This opportunity is a better fit for me right now, that's perfect, right? Think about it. If you were them, you really wanted this person, they said no because it's just not the right time, it's too far, whatever, it's not a good fit for their family dynamic. And now they want the job. Well, they liked you before, and they really liked the way that you were so great, gracious in turning them down. You didn't ghost them, even though we know companies ghost us, right? So if you decline them and tell them, thank you so much for the opportunity, but you decide to move in another direction, you don't burn that bridge. Don't burn that bridge by ghosting people. Your industry is small. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Remember, networking is key, and you still can network with companies that you don't accept. All right, my friends, that's all I wanted to tell you for today. So here is your participation question. Here's what I want to know. What is your biggest hurdle or obstacle that you feel will keep you from achieving what you want in your career? What is your biggest hurdle or obstacle that you feel will keep you from achieving what you want in your career? Simple enough, right? And most importantly, how will you overcome it? How will you overcome it? All right, y'all, please remember that we do not have class tomorrow, but guess what? Guess what? Week 4 opens tomorrow. I'll send you guys out an announcement. Week 4 opens tomorrow. Week 4 closes on Thursday of next week. Week 4 is a short week. Class is over on next Thursday. Anything that you owe me, which I know you guys probably don't, must be turned in by Wednesday of next week. That means your final opens tomorrow. All of your career project, everything, you can do all of next week tomorrow if you want. I don't recommend it, but you can. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that, okay?
Do we have
Sounds good.
the midterm today, right?
The midterm was last week.
Or do we have a test today? Like any test?
No, no, no.
Still?
You have a test next Thursday. It's the final.
Okay. No, I'm just
But
asking
out.
because usually we'll have a test every Thursday.
No,
Regular class.
it's every other Thursday.
Okay.
In this
Okay.
class anyway. Yeah, yeah. In this class it's every other Thursday.
Okay.
All right. But again, your final opens tomorrow and it'll be open until Thursday at 10 p.m. sharp. It closes at 9:59 and 59 minutes, guys. And the class is over, so I can't even open it back up. So please make sure you get that done before Thursday at 10 o'clock. All right, y'all. Enjoy your weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, sir. You
Yeah,
too.
so